Are you ready to go on another adventure? Well, come along as today we take a look at Audio Imperia's NUCLEUS LITE Edition. Okay, we're back, and this is Simeon from PraiseTracks.com. And with all of the orchestral libraries available, sometimes it's hard to make a decision on which one might be right for you. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just have a little sample or a little appetizer to kind of get a feel for how the orchestra library sounds? Well, I've got good news. Audio Imperia has introduced what they call the NUCLEUS LITE Edition. So it's a very basic library, but not basic at the same time. But what it allows you to do is get a sample of the feel and the sounds of their larger NUCLEUS library.
NUCLEUS?
Yes.
We can see that it comes with the essentials. It's just the essential sounds that you're going to need. You've got 2 microphone positions. We can look at the chart here and you can actually see what's available as far as the strings, woodwinds, brass, percussion, and choir. And they've also thrown in some sound design. We're going to take a look at that as well. So all the links are going to be down in the description. So let's go ahead and load it up. So you can see I have it open in Kontakt 6, and when you drop the list of instruments down, you've got 4 folders. You've got multis, singles, performance patches, and some sound design thrown in. So we're going to take a quick look at each of these sections. So first of all, let's just go ahead and load the string ensemble. You have 2 articulations and their key switch. So it starts with the sustained, and I've got my trusty expression pedal going, and then you can control dynamics with the modulation wheel or joystick, whichever the case may be. So here we go. Let's take a listen at the sustained strings. And I like having both the expression pedal and the dynamics because it just gives you 2 different ways to really push and pull the dynamics of the string section. So let's go back and listen some more. It's really cool because you can just hear the texture. Each library, they record them in different rooms, different studios, and so that really becomes a part of the sound. And you'll notice that you've got the classic mix, and let's just take a listen to that because the classic mix is basically just the raw recording, and the modern mix has got a little more little EQ and processing going on just to kind of give it more of an upfront sound. But let's go back and just listen to the sustains just a little bit. Yeah, you hear that? It's just really nice and rich. And I love being able to take those dynamics up. One thing you're going to notice when you're holding chords and you're transitioning from one chord to another, I really love the way that it doesn't cut off the notes. So there are some libraries that they just call it I guess the sucking effect or something, where the transitions get cut off somehow. But I like the way this kind of flows a little bit. It just allows you to flow from one chord passage to another. Okay, let's check out the spiccato. And I've got this assigned to my nano controller here, the nano key. The nano key is just kind of sitting above my keyboard here, and I've got it like a magnetic strip so it doesn't fall off the edge. But that allows me to kind of extend the range on the keyboard way down so I can go ahead and adjust these key switches. Now you'll see when there we go. When I do go to the spiccato, you'll see the dynamics are grayed out because the dynamics are now gauged by the velocity. And this is going to carry through with all of the other sections, all the other orchestra sections. So let's just take a listen at the spiccato. And you notice that there's like, when I'm playing, there's like a little bit of latency, but let's take a look at this. So we've got this sample start time because, you know, when you're hitting the strings, it's not instantaneous. There's a lot of things that happen when you take the bow and touch the string and the sound actually comes out of the instrument. It's all of that magic that happens before the actual sample start time. And so that's what we have here. We have an ability to kind of take it all the way down to about 250 milliseconds before the actual sound of the instrument. So let's just take a listen to what that sounds like. So I'm going to hit the key, but there's going to be 250 milliseconds. Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of, yeah. So what you can do is you can adjust this a little bit to make it a little bit tighter. So we can go up to like, like 50 milliseconds, or let's just go all the way to 0 so you can hear the difference. So that's kind of useful when you're playing parts in. And then you can dial that start time back and then take your MIDI track and shift it according to how many milliseconds that you've offset that sample start time, because that just kind of will help give a little bit of extra life to your samples. Having too much latency, though, at the beginning, it's hard to really play those in. And I'm one that really likes to play the parts in live. The default setting is at minus 125 milliseconds. And that's okay. I like getting it closer to like 100 milliseconds, really, to get it where it kind of feels natural for me to do it. because the response of the instrument, the feedback that you're getting, for me, it just affects how you play. So that's really cool. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the Woodwinds. So we're going to check out the Woodwinds section. And again, these are all ensembles. So you've got the whole Woodwind section kind of stretched across the keyboard. So here we go. And the dynamics really kind of help give you a lot of expression with this. And let's crank up that, let's go to the dynamic. I like that softer, nice, but let's just see how dynamic we can get this. Where they're really pushing hard. Yeah, and you can ride that dynamic to just really emphasize those really dynamic moments that you have. Yeah, I like that, and I like the range. So you've got that really nice, delicate, and then you can, and it's smooth, and it's just sounds like it just transitions very well. Yeah, so now let's listen to the Staccatissimo. The Staccatissimo. Here we go. And again, dynamics are not affected by the mod wheel. It's only affected by velocity. Yeah, that's very cool. And I like the modern mix. The modern mix is, to me, is just kind of like nice and upfront. Then you can, you have control over the reverb here, and you can turn that off. So let's just take a listen to that without the reverb, so we can get a sense of the room character. So you can hear there's just a little bit of decay, but not a lot. So it's a fairly moderately dry room that they've recorded these in. So that just lets you be able to fit these sounds in with other libraries, and then you can also just turn that reverb on. And with other audio Imperia libraries, see, since they were recorded in this similar space, then they're just going to kind of flow together a lot easier. Let's go ahead and go on. Let's take a listen to the brass, and we're still in kind of like the multi-patches here. So we're going to replace that and just kind of listen to the brass. Okay, here we go. This is the sustained. And I'm going to turn the dynamics down a little bit. Yeah. And I'm really stretching the to get that open third. I just love doing that. I love doing those open chords because it just makes it so rich and full that way. Okay, let's take a listen to the Staccatissimo in the brass. Thanks for joining me today. It's so good to have everybody here and enjoying these adventures with me. Yeah, so very powerful, full brass section. Okay, so let's go on. We've got some tonal percussion, the timpani hits. Now we can take a look at the keyboard, and you can see the range for the timpani is. And again, dynamics are dictated by velocity. You can kind of do like some rolls and then this is like the Glockenspiel. And then again, you can see the range. And very delicate. Then we can look at the advanced. We can adjust the velocity curves on a lot of things and the dynamic range. Yeah, so when you have it all the way down to 0, it's going to just kind of be one velocity level and the highest velocity level. And then as you bring it over, it's going to take full advantage of your velocity range. So that's really helpful. It just helps you to dial in your keyboard here. Just really nice. And you need the full spectrum of sounds from like the lowest sounds to the highest. And that Glockenspiel just gives you that nice little sparkle on the top. It's just a nice touch. Okay. Okay, so the atonal percussion. So we've got the gran casas here, right here, the big bass drums. Yeah, and then snares. The piatti. So they've really done a good job in giving us just the basics of what we need to just to have the core, the nucleus of the orchestra. And you've got the tam-tam, the really nice full. So that's really cool. Okay, so let's look at the performance patches and what the performance patches really. I really like using those. Because what it does, it combines the longs and the staccatos, the staccatисsimos together, and they're cross-switched with velocity. So let's just take a listen to the strings, and so you can do. Now this is interesting because you can do the dynamic range from the modulation, the CC. You can assign a CC controller or with velocity. And with performance patches, I typically prefer the velocity because it's like I want to get involved in how that sound is shaped. So let's take a listen at the string ensemble performance layer. Now you hear how that you can kind of hold those down. You play it hard and it's going to dig in. You play it soft and it's just going to be smooth. So you can do that. Okay, let's just see where the dynamic range is. Okay, so the dynamic range is right in that 50%, and I want to get as much as I can out of this this keyboard. Okay, let's just dial it back to like 70. Yeah. Now let's try the CC. Yeah, that's really cool. Now that is really cool to use that CC to give you those really dramatic swells and that type of thing. And when you're using the velocity, it's more for more animated. Boom, there you go. There you go. And with these performance patches, you've got the selection of either having the room or the hall reverb. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Let's just crank that up some. Yeah, so that just gives you a taste. It just gives you a little taste, and you can put some really cool parts and arrangements together if you're just starting out with your orchestral library experience. Really cool. Okay, let's just check out the Woodwind performance patch. I love having these performance patches like this because it just gives you opportunities for expression, and it just gives you kind of fun things to do. Yeah, you've got the longs intermingled with those shorts. Yeah, that's really cool. I've actually did a video earlier of Imperia Lite, which is their string library, but I was always curious about their other orchestral sounds, and NUCLEUS LITE Edition is just a really good way, really inexpensive way to just get a taste for all of these different sections. It's just really a lot of fun. Okay, so last but not least, with the performance patches, we've got the brass full ensemble. And again, these are all full full ensemble patches here. And then the larger libraries, you can actually see the chart that shows all the different articulations in the larger library on the website. All right, so let's just see. Let's just see what the brass does here. Now let me switch to velocity dynamics. Wow, that's so good. That's so fun. Yeah. Yeah. You can just see that. You can just see that thing going. All right, so let's take a look at the sound design. Now, the sound design is a really cool, it's like a bonus. It's just like a really cool bonus thing that they've given us. Let's just take a listen. They've given us, let's see, we drop this down. They've given us like 10 different pads to check out, and these are all really kind of cool processed things. They've just done some crazy things with them. And you'll see this little bar here. This is actually, let's see if I can, yeah. So you grab that, and that is where you can locate the start time for this wave here. Listen to how full that is. So this is great for like just a bed, like laying down a chord bed or something. Just something kind of in the background that, and then every time you hit a key, it re-triggers the start of that. And one thing I like to do, okay, so that's pad 1 memory. Let's go to parallel worlds. A lot of talk about the multiverse and all of that stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's go to D. Yeah, listen to how rich that is. Now let's click into the effects. Now the effects here give you some really cool things you can do with these. So I'm going to turn the flanger on. Yeah, you hear that jet. And then the rotator, it's not just for drawbar organs, and you're going to find out why, because it just kind of swirls that sound around you. Here we go. Yeah, listen to that. And we can increase the distance and the speed. You lower that pitch. And then we can go throw some distortion on there. So you can really kind of mess it up as much as you want. Like a bit crusher. Wow. And then the delays. We can pan that delay. So there's just so much you can do. They've given you a lot of fun tools that you can use. So this is subjugation, and all the effects are still enabled in this particular thing. If you switch different sources, the effects are still going to be the same, and then you can just kind of save your chain. You can give it a different name. Save it as a different NKA, and then open it back if you've got some favorites. And I always like to use the snapshots if you find something that you really like. So this is subjugation. I'm going to move the slider over so we can get the full, hear the full. It's just really unusual textures. They just evolve as you hold them down. Yeah. Okay, so the arrow down there at the lower right, it'll either play from left to right or right to left. So that's kind of cool. Really cool. Okay, let's just do one more Guardian. Let's just listen to that. That's very nice. Just rich, thick. And that reminds me, we've not taken a look at the choirs, and the choirs are really, really beautiful. And it's really nice that they've included those. So when you think of the word light, it means, initially it says less than, but Audio Imperia has really kind of changed in the definition of what the definition of light is, because they've really given us a lot of really nice textures, nice selection with this. So, and same thing, we've got just sustains and the staccatissimo. So here we go, and the dynamics. So I've got the dynamics turned. So they're going to be singing hard. Let's bring those dynamics down a little bit. So that's a little softer. That's very nice. Got a very nice... Let's listen to the classic mix with the choir, just to kind of hear a difference in the color. Yeah, it's got a little darker, a little softer. Now let's take a listen to the Staccatissimo. The funny thing is, my wife and I are going to go see the 50th anniversary showing of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder, and so that instantly kind of evoked that the Oompa Loompas. I'm going to go back to the strings. I love what they've done with these, and having Array Light as well. Array Light adds more articulations, but this just really gives you just what you need to kind of get started, And I'm going to bring that dynamic down a little bit. Yeah, that's beautiful. One of my favorite favorites. It's beautiful. I love the way they've got this scripted, So thanks for joining me. All the links are going to be down in the description. Until I see you again on our next adventure, have a great day. We'll see you soon.